How to make infinite motivation. Let's talk about that. So, how do you make infinite motivation? Hi, I'm Will, Thunderhawke from Thunderhawke Coaching, and today I'm going to talk about motivation, what it is, and how you can generate more of it and achieve the ultimate infinite motivation. So there's something that I really think is important when we think about generating and understanding motivation. Like, why do you even want to do the thing that you think you want to do in the first place? That's a really important thing to understand. So if you want to go to the gym, you need to think about the gym. You need to do stuff associated with the gym. You need to be in the headspace of the gym, right? And how you think about the gym and how you feel about the gym is going to really affect your motivations. If you think, I got to go to the gym. The gym. It's probably not a good vibe, guys. Bad vibes. You're adding bad vibes to your motivation pile, right? That's decreasing your infinite motivation well. It's not the fact that you struggle with motivation. It's the fact that you are motivated towards different things that you wish to do, which makes it harder for you to actually achieve things. So, if you want to generate more motivation, my friends, I'm going to give you a little exercise I'd encourage you to explore. So, I want you to pick a thing you want to do. Anything you want to do. Is it working out? Is it progressing in your career? Is it getting a girlfriend? Is it finishing a project? Any of those things. Now, I want you to literally repeat the project in your head over and over again, or under your breath, quietly, okay? This is kind of like a mantra practice. The point of this is to reinforce the idea in your head over and over and over again. Because the more you think about something, the more you'll be motivated towards it, right? So if you really struggle with this practice, it tells me that you actually have a lot of negative emotions around the idea of doing the project. So if you sit down and you're trying to do a project, and you're like, oh man, I want to do this project. Oh, but I'm not sure where to start, not sure what to do. Oh, I'm stuck. Your motivation tanks, right? Often we feel motivated when we feel like there's a clear path ahead and a clear set of things to do, which is why certain experiences that are set up to give us a clear set of things to do can be very stimulating and rewarding, i.e. video games. So what we need to do is facilitate and foster that kind of environment for ourselves in the real world in a way that feeds us productively while you are generating your motivation via the mantra practice. So, for example, if you want to exercise more, be like, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. That's how simple we need it to be, guys. Because if you're sat down playing a video game, you're not moving, there's no motion in you, getting up and walking out the house, never mind going to the gym, never mind going for a run or a walk or looking out this road down the street, all of that it could feel like a lot, okay? It could feel like a lot. So what I'm going to encourage you to do here is sit with that idea, because whatever it is, whether it's your project or you're going outside or whatever, right? If you're thinking about doing this project, it might be making a video game, it might be writing a song or making a video, or just doing your taxes, something like that. Repeat the taxes in your head, and then pick somewhere to start. And this is the hard part. This is where we get into the inertia speed bump, right? So we go I have a task, I'm gonna go bump into the speed bump. And the bigger the speed bump, the more energy it requires to get over it and get into the task. Because I don't know about you guys, but something I really notice in the behavior of a lot of people is that when we initiate a task and get into the task, most of us, if we know what we're doing, are fine, right? We're cool, I'm progressing and things are moving and this is easy and this feels good. But when we don't know what to do, that's what kills and hampers our motivation, right? Motivation is the reward of effort. It's the feedback loop of I do thing and then thing give me something back. I do thing, then thing give me something back. I play a note, notes sound good on guitar. Me do more. I don't know why I'm a Neanderthal now, but that is the example. I make a fun noise on the keyboard. Loud, right? Nice. We like that. Let's keep doing that. that's how we get into the flow state of the feedback back and forth. We do a little bit of a project, we're like, this is going well, then we continue to do the project. But that's because we have a clear path in front of us. We feel comfortable with the ambiguity of what's in front of us. So when you've done your mantra and you're like, oh yes, project, I will write my name on the tax form, then you need to, jumping ahead here, but you need to break the task down. This is a really hard part of the process. If you have any kind of neurodiverse functioning in your brain, if you have autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculus, any of those, it can be very mentally taxing to try and do the executive functioning thing. And by executive functioning, I mean you have a task, i.e. do the project. And then the hard part of that is, okay, well then how do I start the project? How do I break down the project? What do I do to complete the project? When the steps are unclear, our brain cannot initiate action. That's where decision paralysis comes from, my friends. So what you do in response to this is you could use certain tools that help you break stuff down, and I will link that in the description below. Or you can do what I like to call the 25% rule. So you cut something. So we're all going to assume when we do a task that we can do the whole thing in one go, right? We're going to go project. Our gut's going to say that. I'm going to do this project now, and I'm going to do the whole thing in one fell swoop. Well, you won't say that, but there'll be a subconscious expectation of that somewhere. And what you need to do is you need to take that project and then cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. You've got a quarter left, and then look at the quarter of the project. So if it's a video, if you're making a video, because this is a video, and I know that a little bit because I'm making a video. When I think of an idea for a video, I go, okay, so 100% of the video is the video made and edited and done. Well, what's half of that? It might be an idea of things to talk about. And then half of that again might be, okay, so I've got to get the mic in front of me. I've got to turn on OBS. I've got to click start recording. I've got to do a take of something to get my brain whirling, to start thinking about the topic, and then listen to that back, and then write some notes so I have something to go off of. And the processes, what I'm talking about here, right? We need processes to shortcut a lot of these roadblocks that we've run into in projects, right? I think being systemic about it is how we refine and hone our abilities to execute projects. Especially this is important when there are only a finite amount of decisions we really can make in the project before we get burnt out with it. I think it's something like 15 decisions we can really make. So the more we can automate, the more we can dial in a very specific way of I do A, B, C, and D first before then I have to make a proper thought through decision before I squeeze my brain for decision juice, then it's easier for us to initiate the task because we're not overwhelmed by it, and then we can mantra it and we can go, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make a song, cool. So how do I start a song? How I do it is I go, I'm gonna start picking up an instrument and start playing it. I'm just gonna start playing an instrument. I'm not gonna think about it, and something will come out. It sounds terrible to begin with, and then eventually there's kind of a little lick or a little noodle in there, and then I get curious about that, and then I follow that, and I'm like, ooh, da 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 da. I start singing something, and then I go, ooh, well. Usually I add rhythm, and I add bass, and I add twinkly synthesizers, and then I add guitar, and then the general ingredients of song, and then I go, oh, I get a 4x4 measure, and I have a verse perhaps, and maybe I have a pre-chorus and a chorus, and then I have a bridge, and these bits come together because I already know all of this stuff about how songs work. And I piece them together in a coherent way, and that takes experience to do, right? And I think this is the hard part about figuring out a project. We all have our own kind of unique process, And if we don't have one of those yet, it's really hard to start, because often some of us want like the end product of like it being good immediately. So if you want to generate infinite motivation, as a fun summary at the end of this video, guys, you need a few things. You need a process, and you need to mess up the process a lot. When you have developed the process, and during the process of developing the process, you need to think about stuff related to the process, right? That's what the mantra's about, bringing you into the mindset of the task. 3, you need to check your feelings around the project and the subject area, because if you're like, I hate this, I feel bad about myself, negative feelings are coming up, that's going to get in your way of keeping the thoughts about the topic of interest in your head, okay? And then number 4 takeaway at the end here. Ultimately, you got to be aware of that inertia speed bump. So when you want to do something, break it down, make it small, take a step. Break it down, make it small, take a step. If you need help with that, I'll put a tool in the description that might help you with that. But I'm going to leave it there for today. You've been wonderful. You right there. Don't know who you are, but you've been wonderful. I've been Will. I'm going to shoot. Good luck with the infinite motivation. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.